The Sciforror Film Podcast. Hello and welcome to the podcast. This is the Sciforror Film Podcast, and we are us. I'm not going to give you names because if you don't know us by now, then you haven't been listening very carefully, have you? And that will serve you right. Anyway, we are we are here to review 3 short horror films. Diddly diddly da, diddly doo diddly da.
Yes.
And how are you this fair week, young film lad?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm still getting over these films. I've literally I finished watching the third one, and I don't know whether or not part of me feels like sort of something switched off in my head because just
Fair enough.
I don't know.
Shall we get into them then? Then. Right, the first one is a film called Let the Ghost Pass.
Yes.
Made in 2020. This was part of 2020 Screamfest. The director is Andreas Thielander, producer Shelley Phillips, writer Andreas Thielander. Cast Bo G. Lakeman, Daisy Davis, Andreas Modig, Alma Cederquist, and Marcus Berg. The synopsis says, a homeless man tries to keep people away from Priest Street in Stockholm every night when a furious ghost comes, but one day the man dies and becomes a ghost himself.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. This is a subtitled film. I think maybe I should do subtitles so people know what I'm talking about sometimes.
I don't think they'd work.
I don't think it'd make a lot of difference.
It would just come up at the bottom and random that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's easy for you to say.
Yeah. I think I've got someone else's teeth in this one.
I think we've got each other's teeth in.
Oh, that'd be weird.
So yes, anyway, it's a subtitled film, originally made in Swedish, I would imagine, listening to it and the fact that it's based in Stockholm. Yes, it's a very interesting idea.
Yes.
The whole sort of like guy trying to save people from this rather nasty, quite vicious ghost.
Yes.
And killing them. It looks good and it's well made, especially, I mean, like, you know, the night being a night shoot, a lot of it's got a very good look to it, and the ghosts have a very good look to them as well. It's not sort of,
what I liked was just that it wasn't the overemphasis on the fact that were ghosts. It was like with a lot of films they put like obviously the ghostly figures or the white light behind them or whatever, but this was very well done, and I really liked the way that it looked.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, the little girl that sort of appears to him and sort of guides him, that sort of thing was very good. And it's an interesting thing though, because it's like part way through, he stops the ghost from attacking someone.
Yeah.
And the ghost doesn't try to attack him. And I wondered whether it was because he was already a ghost.
See, that's what I think that's what happened. I think it was just after he was meant to have like a heart attack.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I couldn't work out if that was after or before or what it was. But it's a very good film. It is a really good film. A great idea.
It is, and
it works really well.
I think it's very well done, and acting in it was amazing as well. The woman's emotion for when her partner obviously gets killed. What I loved as well, I don't know if you see it actually, that when the ghost was attacking someone, he must have, I don't know whether or not it was meant to happen or what, but he hit the ground or hit so much force the cane actually bent.
Yeah.
And I thought that's very good because very good. So the fact that the little girl explains it afterwards, and that there's certain things within the sort of ghostly realm that can be affected by humans.
Yeah.
And I thought that was very well done and just so. I think the whole thing really about it. And I love the effect. I love the effect you put on when they were talking, the sort of echo, to make it seem more ghostly. I think was very well. Was a bit
when he finally sort of like overpowers the ghost, when they finally overpower the ghost, that effect of getting rid of the ghost was really brilliantly done.
I was a bit confused though, if he's meant to be dead or how the young, or not the little girl, but the sort of the woman was able to see him, and it confused me a bit, but I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I think maybe it's the timing of when he became a ghost. Maybe we're losing track of, because I'm not sure when that actually happened.
No,
it wasn't as obvious as I thought it might be.
No, it's saying it's a very, very good film, and I love the idea behind it because it's obviously ghost films have been done so many times, and there's so many of them around.
Yeah.
But this I love, and I think it's so because it was almost a little bit because of the sort of the way it looked, the sort of a very almost like an old-fashioned sort of film, the way that it meant to look.
Yeah.
But obviously a modern spin on it, and I think it was very well done with it.
Definitely.
And as it's saying, the makeup on the little girl with the scar that she had,
and
even her acting in it, really, all of their acting in it was amazingly done.
Yeah, I mean, they were. It was a really, really good film, really well made. As you say, the acting was great, the effects were good, and it's a really good idea. It's something really different, that kind of works really well. And I really, it's nice to see that even now people can come up with something slightly different, a slightly different take on the ghost story.
Yeah,
which works really well. I really like that.
I'll say it was very, and the fact that, like I said, like the camera work as well for stuff, the lighting and sound as well, for being outside at night.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't know a lot about Stockholm, but obviously it's again the city life. Me and how to do it without the noise of planes or cars or stuff like that. But it was very subtle and very, very, very well maintained.
Yeah, it was a really, really well made film. So yes, definite recommendation, that one.
Yes.
Okay. The second film is a film called Raggedy Man. This is from 2021. It's a Burnt Mill Road film. We've done a couple of theirs before, and to be honest, I'm getting more and more into their stuff. I think they're really well made stuff. The writer and director was Jacob Arbiter. Director of photography Stephen Ho. Sound by Matt Sasaki. Okay, Matt Sasaki. There you go. Music by Anthony Sabatino, and the editor was Alex Brisson. Cast: Skylar Hill, Lily Lucas, and Rick Jontz. The synopsis is: a young girl fears the Raggedy Man lurking under her bed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is an old idea. The idea of
yeah.
The sort of the creature under the bed thing, and also the sort of like the doll coming to life and all that kind of thing. But it's a very well made, very good film. It's very well done in the way it's been done. The old story.
Yeah, no, to be honest, I agree with you. It is very well done, and I loved everything about it. Really, the intensity of it, and the sort of what I love about all of Batman is the sort of all of their films seem to be unique in different ways. Like they all seem to have. There's never you can never watch a film and go, this is definitely one of theirs. Obviously, unless you see the title sequence at the beginning. But what I say is, like, if someone shows you a clip of it, you couldn't go, "Oh, that's definitely a Burt Mills film," or whatever. Yeah. I do love it. I loved the child acting in it again.
Yeah,
which says quite a lot. The fact that, like, a lot of people, the whole industry say about the fact that child acting, working with children, is so hard to do. But so far, every film we've seen, and it seems to work so well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The music and the intensity of that, like the intense music when she comes down the stairs, and what I loved about it as well is the subtleness of the clock in the background.
Yeah.
It was just so, but the mask just made me laugh. And I know it shouldn't. I know it shouldn't have done.
The whole look of the Raggedy Man was a bit. But you know, I mean, the other thing I liked about it was the fact that it's got a jump scare ending, but it was a very good jump scare ending.
Yeah,
it wasn't the usual sort of like one you could see for 3 miles away that you knew was going to happen and how it was going to happen.
I've got to admit, I was very sort of in mixed minds about how I thought it was going to end. I knew that I thought that, like, I had this sort of possibility. Oh yeah, it's going to be a jump scare, or it's just going to end like that, or it's going to be like sort of this, like she's going to disappear. And I love the fact that this film didn't. It left me guessing until right at the very end.
Yeah, yeah, and it as I say, the way that jump scare was done was really good as well. It wasn't. It was a yeah. I mean, I know what you mean about the look of the Raggedy Man, but you know, it's supposed to be a child's doll come to life. You know, it's not going to look. It's not going to be a brilliant special effect, is it?
Oh no, I get that, but it just. I think I actually think the mask helped.
Yeah,
it because of how creepy that mask looked.
Yes,
I think it helped so much, and the fact that just. It is sad. The grin on the mask helped it so much because it was just like, oh my god, that is terrifying.
It was
and like
it's a very important look.
Yeah, for like a little girl or a child to look under their bed and see that, no matter how sort of big or old or brave they feel, they're gonna look at that and go, oh shit. And it's gonna terrify them.
Question is, why would you buy a doll that looked like that for your child anyway?
Yeah, there is that. It just, I don't know. It's just, it was very, very weird. And what I liked about it as well was the fact that it wasn't obvious what was going on. Like the camera pans down and keeps panning down, and you can see it's slight different changes, and then all of a sudden the doll's alive and there, and it's just like, oh my god.
Yeah. I agree. It's really
I've got a bit like, I was just saying, we write down notes for these all the time, and normally I've got it, and I've just for this, I've just got like, all I've got is just the big capital letters, is just WTF. Just sat there at the end of it, and I was just like, what the actual hell?
Yeah.
I was just like, obviously, like we said, with Burt Mills stuff, their ideas are unique.
Oh, their ideas.
Like Burt Mill Road stuff is unique and they're amazing. But to come up with something like this, again, I want to talk to the people and just go, are you okay? Yeah. It's just for something like this, just sit there and just, I would love to know as well whether or not that traumatized the child. Because I hope not as well, but to like to have to sort of part of it, sort of lay in bed next to that thing for like, even if it's just for 5 minutes, would absolutely terrify me.
No, I know.
Especially at that age.
I wouldn't have wanted to do it, I must admit. That age, I was going for a lot of weird stuff. So okay, fair enough. No, that's another one that we definitely
recommend. Yeah.
So on to the third film, which I have got to say is my favourite of these 3 films, because I have a very weird and twisted sense of humour. And
I've got a weird and twisted sense of humour. A lot of people find it very disturbing. Even I looked at this film and went, what?
This is a film called Wild. Again, it's a 2020 one film. It was picked for the Short of the Week channel. It's a Dutch film, written and directed by Jan Verdict.
What I loved about it, though, is on the description, it actually says disturbing Dutch horror.
Yeah, absolutely. The producers are down as the Rogues, which I think is great. It's like, who are these people?
I can understand.
The cinematography is Sijben Dornick.
This is interesting.
Editor Joshua Menko. Sound Sam Huisman. Music by Han Nowenhuidsen. I've got no idea if I'm pronouncing these words and names correctly, but there you go. The plot designer, photographic designer was Suzanne Jansen. The synopsis says, an idyllic family holiday quickly descends into a hellish nightmare. I'm not being funny, but if that's what they think of as an idyllic family holiday, I must have led a very odd life, because that bloke is actually an absolute bloody nightmare himself, the dad.
Yeah, I've got to admit, like, I was reading it and then I watched that and I was like, shit, like, there are some people out there that I know have had some bad childhoods, but they almost seem peaceful compared to what that was like.
The thing I love about it is the fact that I didn't like him.
No.
So when he gets killed at the end, you're kind of almost feeling good.
I did wait. I do agree with you. I did want to wait. It was very odd the way it happened.
The thing about it was like, I mean, let's start off with the basic things like we always do. Good cinematography. It's a very well-made film, very well acted, and all that sort of thing. It's got subtitles because it's Dutch and all that kind of thing. But all the way through, I was thinking it was going to be something like the mother was going to kill the father, or the father was going to kill the kid, or something like that, that sort of thing. And then totally out of the blue, he goes off because she's told him to go for a walk because he's pissed her off. And he gets taken down by these hunters.
Yeah, it was the same. I had the same thing. I was sitting there watching. I was like, it sort of had a whole sort of Shining feel to it, and I was like, he's gonna switch, he's gonna go mental, something's gonna happen. Especially the way that it was zoomed in on the meat and him eating it, and I thought, he's just gonna go a bit loopy.
Yeah,
and then he goes for a walk in the woods and gets shot, and I was like, bit confusing why he starts talking to the owl.
Yeah, I don't know.
And why he starts having a go at it. But okay, I've never been shot. I don't understand what goes through your head.
I think it's because he's a pillock. But
but yeah, I do agree with you. Yeah, I agree. In the fact that when it happened, I was like, have retribution. But then what happened afterwards confused the life out of me.
Well, it didn't confuse me because I was just sitting there laughing because I thought it was really funny.
It's just the fact that like they come over and like quiet little beast, and I'm like, what? And even he doesn't pick up until like sort of third or fourth time they say it. He's like, hang on, what? And it's just like the bit that happens to him afterwards. When he's being what's happened at the end. How long it goes on for? It goes on for the whole credit sequence. And I'm like, this is getting more and more disturbing.
It's brilliant. It's great. I love it. I love that. The only thing I wrote down was this film made by vegans?
Yeah.
You do wonder if it was a kind of anti-meat.
Yeah, that was that. Just the fact that he sort of says about it.
All they want to eat is salad.
Yeah, and it's just
fake.
But it's just the bit with the bee camera.
Yeah.
When he's taking go for a wee up a tree and there's this bee flying around him. And then also you start seeing it from the perspective of the bee. Confused the life out of me. Because it's got nothing to do with the rest of the film.
No, but it's a great made film, and it's great. I love it. I absolutely love this film because it is so it is so odd. It's so great. It's such an odd film, but in a brilliant way.
Yeah, what I love as well is the fact that this film's like 11.5 minutes long, but doesn't feel like that at all.
Oh no.
There's so much. It draws you in so much that you just lose track of time.
There's so much in it. It's kind of fantastic.
I understand. That's like we said about the cinematography on it is amazing, especially the fact that a lot of it, apart from I think a couple of seconds of it, is all shot outdoors.
Yeah.
And it's just I love the random shots of animals in it as well, which I thought quite funny, especially the cow at the beginning.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's very well done, and it's the acting between them all was very well done.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
I've again in my notes. I've just wrote down.
This is the sort of film I really enjoy watching because it's one that kind of takes you by surprise. And as soon as it took me by surprise, as soon as that end sort of thing started with him being shot, I spent the whole of the rest of that thing until the credits. I had to watch until right until the credits ended, and I spent the whole thing sitting there giggling because I thought it was brilliant.
Oh, that's the thing. Is that obviously I watched this one just before we've done this, and when you messaged me going, "Oh, are you ready?" and I'm like, I'm just watching the end of it because I had to watch till the last minute, to the last second. I was like, something's got to happen. Even with the credits rolling, and I sat there and I was just like, couldn't take my eyes off of what was going on.
The thing that got me was that I was sitting there giggling, and then afterwards I thought to myself, I was sitting there giggling all the way through that thing, and that was quite a worrying thing, really, because it's not your kind of normal happy jolly ending to a film.
It's the thing is that I was watching it downstairs, and I sat there and obviously Mum and Amy were down there, and I've watched it. And they can't see what I'm watching because I'm watching it on a laptop. I've got my headphones on, and the way he's being prepared, all I then turned around and went, "Oh, that hurt," and then just sat there in silence. And Amy then walked. I walked. I come up here and Amy, "You didn't tell me when." I went, someone's just been cooked alive, and I just sat there and walked away. I haven't explained anything else to her. And I'm starting to wonder why she's still with me for a start, because I do this quite a lot. I randomly just go, "Yeah, it's a film Dad's made me watch." Or, "Oh, we're doing this." And the thing is that I can say to her, "I'm watching a film for the podcast." Say something completely random and walk off, and she goes, "Okay."
But she's seen some of the films we've watched. So
even this, I'm gonna have to talk to her in a minute and go, "I wasn't watching anything weird, honestly."
Yes, you were.
But this is there's a lot of the times where I sit there and because obviously, like we said before, and she said as well, she doesn't like horror films.
Yeah.
And I sit there and I look. We don't watch some of these horror ones, and I'm like, I'll show that to Amy afterwards. I know. So basically, I can watch it and go, "Yeah, she'll be all right with this or whatever." I'm not too sure with this film because I'm not sure what the hell happened.
I think it's great up until that. It's that last little bit that you kind of have to you don't want to prepare people for it because of the fact that you want everyone to suddenly go, "Oh, I wasn't expecting that." But you feel that if you don't prepare people for it, they'll go, "Oh, this is too much for me."
Yeah, it's you sort of catch-22. If you don't prepare people to go, "Oh, that might be a bit too much," but if you do prepare people, they can still go, "That's a bit too much."
or they'll say, "Nah, I don't want to watch that."
Yeah,
but it's a good film. Watch it.
It is an amazing film, man. To say, like we said before, to be picked for short of the week must be just proof the fact that this is a good film.
The amount of shorts that come out every week, you look on YouTube.
Yeah, and the fact that I loved about it is, like I said at the beginning, I loved about this is the fact it actually describes it as disturbing in the title sequence.
Well, the thing is, that's why one of the reasons why I chose it, because I thought, well, that sounds like it could be fun.
Yeah. And that's what I loved. I typed in and it come up with disturbing Dutch horror, and I was like, "What?" Because I've got a few Dutch friends, and I know that, or the ones that I know anyway, are very, very twisted and very, very worrying, and I do wonder sometimes about them. But for this to come out the way it is, and I sat there, I would love this.
Yeah.
And it is just right up their alley. And then sat there afterwards and thought to myself, maybe this is something about Dutch people. But
I don't know, because it's one of those weird things. I once read a book about the Dutch people and their place in Europe, and it was a very good book. It was written by a Dutch professor, and effectively this book was saying that Dutch people don't like anybody apart from other Dutch people.
Yeah, but the thing is that that's
I don't know if that's true, but
I don't know. I don't know whether or not it is. I might have to ask mate. But even this film sort of rains on that parade as well, because it seems like they don't like each other, and it's just I don't know. It's just I really like this film, and I
love it.
Part of me's almost ashamed to say that I like it because of what happens.
It's a great film. It's really, really worth watching. So anyone out there, especially if you like your films a bit dark and a bit kind of twisted, then yes, definitely.
Yeah, it's not even that old of a film. It only come out, it was put up on a short of the week in April.
Yeah.
So for it to be that sort of to be put off this year with a lot of stuff that's gone on and the amount of films that have come out this year,
yeah,
for it to be chose for short of the week in any of the ones that have been chosen for the short of the week this year, amazing because of the fact that there's been so many come out. Because obviously with the whole COVID thing, everyone's been sort of locked up and making horror films and stuff like that. For this to be chose and done as well as it has, it just shows how amazing this film is.
Absolutely. So that's 3. Why put that many fingers up for?
I don't know, but we've done it. They all blurred into one on one screen.
three films that we kind of like all of it. You got Let the Ghost Pass, Raggedy Man, and Wild. I would recommend them to anyone.
Yes, I want to get hold of the people from Raggedy Man just to find out where they got that mask from, because I want a copy of it.
Now, we've only got 2 more of our proper normal shows before the Christmas special.
Oh,
which is going to be a slightly longer show because we've got 2 feature films to discuss.
Really upset me, reminding me how close we are to Christmas.
And then we're going to do a catch-up program after that of like recommendations and just general chit-chatty stuff about what we're going to do next year and things.
Yes.
And stuff when we're going to go over to reviewing some features and some shorts to we'll mix and match them about and stuff like that. I've actually made a note of a few films I want to include.
Oh dear. Already?
Yeah, some classic films like The Hills Have Eyes, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yes,
that one. And
we did a review of the other film that you watched recently.
Which other film?
The one that was meant to be Night of the Living Dead, but wasn't.
Prisoners of the Lost Universe. Maybe, I'm not sure. Trick or Treat from 1986, which is the one with Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne in it. Which is
wow, yeah.
Sci-fi film called Brainstorm, which is quite a thing, and a film which I have no idea about at all, but I just love the title, which is called, it's a science fiction film called Voyage of the Rock Aliens, which sounds like it's going to be the worst possible film ever.
No, nothing is ever going to beat Humanoids of the Deep. Sorry.
Oh, I don't know, actually. I found a couple that might, but they're not science fiction or horror, so we can't really review them. So, which is annoying, but
nothing is ever going to beat them films. Sorry.
Okay. So, thank you very much for being on the podcast.
It's okay.
Everything like that.
It'd be a bit weird if I wasn't. You'd be sitting there talking to yourself.
Normal Saturday night. Thanks to anybody, everybody who has watched, listened, thought about either of the 2 of them, contemplated anything to do with anything, or ever said a word of any kind whatsoever. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you to those that have thought about and listening to the podcast, but might not have done it.
Thank you very much to people who have thought about watching or listening to any podcast. You could just think which one of them might have been ours.
Yeah.
Just on the off chance, there are more watchers and listeners than Nate Thompson. Tune in again next week.
We do appreciate you listening and watching every week. Hopefully, Nate.
Yes, we do appreciate you, Nate, and we are going to reward you with an interview next year.
Nick,
I don't know if that's a reward, really, but hey.
Yeah. Can listen to the listen.
Just go a second. If I do that, my head floats.
Look like an egg.
I do not look like. Oh, I do look like an egg.
I think that's why I wear my hat. Apart from the fact that if I don't end up with like really fluffy hair.
Fluffy hair. Yeah. Anyway, so yes, thank you very much for watching, listening, doing otherwise, or whatever you're doing. Don't do that, you'll go blind. And
that'd be a weird thing to do to a podcast.
And yes, there will be some new news of other things as well at some point.
New news.
Look, I'm disappearing into the void. Anyway, right. Thank you very much, and good, gracious, good fishing.
Good gracious me.
Good, jolly Miss Molly, and other things like that. Bye then.
Bye.
The Sciforror Film Podcast.